Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be bringing you another video. I just got off of work and I'm super exhausted and super tired, and I thought that it would be such a great idea to show you my skincare, answer some questions, get into some comfies, and get comfortable. I thought that this would be a really great video to show everyone how I unwind, how I relax, and how I find some peace when my day has been super hectic. So sit back, get in your comfies, grab a glass of wine, and let's get comfy. Whew, right, we're back. I just took a shower and I feel nice and clean and refreshed. Sundays are usually my days that I go all in with like my self-care. So I exfoliated my skin, shampoo and conditioner, because I try not to wash my hair every day or even every other day. Kind of like every 3 to 4 days, just because I get a lot of buildup in my scalp. So if I tend to like shampoo a lot, like the protein in some shampoos or stuff will build up on my scalp and then I get a lot of like head pimples. But today I shampoo and condition, and then I cleanse my face with the salicylic acid cleanser from the Inky List, which I totally recommend. I used to double cleanse a lot, which we can get into a video later on about double cleansing and just like skincare in general. That one for the Inky List has been so great, and it actually is not super stripping. It's really nice. I have my bottle of wine and my glass, so let's pour a glass of wine and let's sit back, get comfy, answer some questions, and put some skincare on. Can never go wrong with a white Zinfandel, can we? Right, let's get into some questions. So the first question was, what are the best and or biggest differences, culture shocks going from living in LA to Scotland? Oh, this is a good question. Let's put on my face mask first and then I'll get into that question. So the face mask that I'm using is from Bubble, and it is called the Detoxifying Clay Mask. It looks something a little bit like that. I actually really love this. I don't use it very often, but when I do, I really enjoy it, especially when I get like some severe pimples. Because I get a lot of like cystic acne pimples like under the skin. I don't really get a lot that protrude, and I feel like this really draws out all the impurities. It's quite drying, not like really bad to the point where you're like but like a little bit to the point where you're like, okay, I'm a little stripped, I should probably put something on, but it does its job. So we just I can go on with my fingers because I know my hands are clean. But this is a 10-minute mask and I just apply it all over. So let me apply this and I'll be right back. Yes. My husband is bringing me a mochi with my wine. Give. Right, now that I had a mochi and some wine and I just cleansed my hands again, let's get into that question. So I think my biggest or best cultural differences, I think definitely lies like, and I think I've been talking about this a lot with like a lot of my customers that I talk to when I'm waitering. Like I talk about these differences a lot, and I think this is like such a great representation of what is so different between, you know, America and here, is that like the way of living is just so much slower. It's just so much nicer. Like I feel like sometimes like in California, I feel like I am watching people really struggle to live or struggle to make it, or kind of just like struggled in life in general, you know, like we don't have access to healthcare, we don't have access to free schooling, we don't have access to a lot of things in America. And here in Britain, and of course there's like good and pros and cons everywhere that we live, but I feel like honestly in Britain, you know, we have specifically Scotland really, we get free schooling, we have free healthcare, you know, women have access to free feminine products, they're required to teach LGBTQ history in schools. So there's just a lot of like things that I feel specifically Scotland, and not even all of Britain, are doing it way better than most of the world. And I think those differences are really outweigh a lot of the things that I find I love about California, that I feel like a lot of the things that Scotland has to offer definitely push me way more leaning towards wanting to obviously live here indefinitely, which is the plan. You know, like I want to raise children here because I feel like they have access to more things and I won't be scared to take my children to the hospital. I won't be afraid of like my kids' futures, you know. It's definitely those things that make me think about, you know, living here and why I kind of moved away from California. So that was a really, really great question. I really love that. Amazing. So let's go into our next question, which will be the last one for the space mask. And before we do, let's grab another sip of our wine. So, next question is, would you like to live anywhere else in the UK? So, me and my husband's plan is really just like indefinitely living in Scotland. Like we do know that we want to like settle in Scotland. Like this is where I want to live. This is where I want to have a house. This is where I want to raise my kids. But I do know that we kind of want to split our time between London and Scotland. So London, England, and Scotland. The ideal kind of plan and goal is to own a home here in Scotland and to own a flat in London, so that when we go down for auditions and we go down to, you know, do things in London with our friends and stuff, we have a place down there, and then, you know, we can just pop back up to Scotland to resume our life. England is obviously the epicenter of everything here in Britain. It's basically like the LA and New York of America, right? Like London is where all the opportunities are. It's where the West End is. It's where all the good dance studios are, X, Y, and Z. So we definitely know that like a lot of our time we want to spend in London, and a lot of the time that we are going to be spending is in London when we do auditions and stuff. So we definitely know that we want to have a place there because we're going to keep going back and forth from there. But it's really just about like setting our kind of financial goals and setting our life together to get there, to be in that like position in our life where we can get a flat in London and own a home in Scotland. I know it seems like such a big goal as like a 25 and 26-year-old couple that, you know, right now is kind of struggling with money and struggling where they're at in life. But I think that specifically for me and Ross, like we're very good at setting our mind to like what we want. We're good at being crafty. We're good at saving and finding financial freedom. So we just came off of a really crazy year. So we're definitely in this like zone right now where we're trying to figure out our footing and figure out where we kind of want to go next and how to get there. And we see where we want to go. It's just kind of hard to get there right now. I think we're standing in our own ways. But I think once we like break down those kind of like barricades and like jumping over those hurdles, we'll definitely get to where we want to go. Right. I actually think I was quite oily because this actually didn't strip my skin as much as I remembered this did. So I think it probably might be because I was a little bit oily right now, and this really helped take off that like excess oil on my face. But it's really important to know that sometimes when we are oily, it does mean that we're lacking moisture. So sometimes like adding moisture or moisturizers that are really hydrating to your skin will actually help the oiliness, because sometimes your skin will overproduce oil because it's lacking moisture. That's not the case for everybody. And again, I'm not a dermatologist or even a skincare specialist or an esthetician, but I am someone that loves skincare. So I do know a little bit, and I definitely know that for some people in some cases, the overproduction of oil in the skin could mean lacking hydration. So in that case, and I know that is for me because I used to be super, super oily, and when I started hydrating my skin very properly, it actually like calmed down my oiliness, and now I think I have pretty much like combination skin now. Sometimes I get really oily in my T-zone, which a lot of people do, and I get dry around the outers, especially around my jaw, I get really dry. So yeah, but let's move on to our next step and our next question. Right, so my next step in my routine is the Watermelon Glow Recipe PHA plus BHA Pore Tightening Toner, Hydrating and Pore Refining. Honey, that is long. this stuff has really been great. So this is a lower percentage PHA, BHA toner. And why I love that is because I can use this actually daily, whereas if you're using the kind of face mask from The Ordinary, which is like the red one, that you can only really use like once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on how often you use it. You kind of ideally only want to be using it once a week. And maybe 2 times a week if your skin's used to it, but I would always just use it once a week. But this stuff, you can do it consistently, and I feel like I get more of a benefit from that it's like a slower kind of like gradual like overturning of the cells on my face, whereas like with the other one from Ordinary, it's like a very intense one, which I love, but I feel like immediately kind of a couple days after, I can already feel like that kind of buildup of like dead skin on my face, whereas like this, I always feel like I'm just kind of like washing it away slowly, and I'm never like getting really bad buildup. The also really great thing about this too is that it's super kind of hydrating, and it leaves like your skin like really bouncy, and really like opens up your pores to allow like more like products to really set in and to like really suck them in. So I really do love this. So let's apply this while we answer our next question. Our next question is, what is your next goal to achieve? And by the way, so happy you got your visa approved. This is a really great question. The reason why I love this question is because I love that sometimes like people are like really invested into like the goals and everything I have, and or like I have so many people that are following me that like honestly root for me on a daily, and I freaking love it, and it makes me like really inspired that like what I do and what I've been doing with my life is like really like resonating with people. And why I love getting this question specifically is because people know I'm like never in one place at one time, and I'm always like doing something new or trying something new. And honestly, like my next goal in life is to just really be like wholeheartedly happy. I feel like for the last kind of 2 years of my life, since like kind of COVID, everything's kind of like turned upside down, and like what I knew about myself, what I knew about life, what I knew about where I wanted to go, it's put a lot of perspective in my life. And I think that I used to focus on things that I don't necessarily made me happy, but I knew that it would make other people happy, because I was fulfilling the success that I saw other people have, and I also saw that the success that I followed that other people were having made the people around me happy. But to be fair, it wasn't my success that made me happy. And I really have been falling in love with teaching, and really like teaching the next generation, or honestly inspiring people to become heels dancers as well. Like that's like my passion, that's what I love. And I think that my next like kind of goal in life is to open up a dance studio and teach my Stilettos like dance brand there, and to also just like have a professional dance studio where I bring the LA experience to Britain, and to really kick that off. And I think that I can do a really good job. So I genuinely think that teaching is like where I want to go. I think that it's so amazing to be able to teach people to connect to the kids, or to connect to the adults, and help them find themselves, and like specifically like adults dancing in heels, like reconnecting to that like sexuality of ourselves, that body, reconnect ourselves to who we are, and not allowing people to take our bodies away from us. And I think that's what heels has meant a lot to me, is that it is this like kind of dancing where it's equally as sexy and equally as fun and all this stuff, but it also is very therapeutic. I found so much body positivity and love in myself because of that. I've fallen in love with my queerness more because of my heels. Like I just truly want to inspire people through teaching. So I definitely think that my next goal is teaching. Right, on to our next set before we get into the next skincare. And the next question is the tranexamic acid night treatment from Inculus. This stuff is so incredible. If you have hyperpigmentation, if you have scarring, This stuff is super great, and actually doctors use this. It's actually used to like stop bleeding, and they prescribe it to people that have really bad scars after getting like cut or lacerations and stuff like this. So this stuff is super, super good, and it's honestly changed my skin. So let's apply this and we'll get into our next question. Right, so I just do a few pumps of that on my hand, and then I'll just like rub it together and put it on my face. So the next question that we are going to get into is, how do I decompress? And this is a great question because I am someone that is severely high strung all the time. I have severe anxiety, and so sometimes it's really hard for me to find ways to decompress that are effective. I do a lot of things that I would consider that have helped a little bit, but nothing that like really like calms me down, until like recently when I like truly like focused in on like what truly makes me happy, and also like just what I truly just want to do. I feel like sometimes we can get stuck into like, you know, people wanting us to go out or to decompress with them or all this stuff. And it's really funny because so many people think I'm an extrovert, which I do think I am one. Obviously, I'm super, super talkative, but I am equally an introvert. When I tell you, like, I genuinely love staying in, and I love staying in my own place, and I love being in my own room or on my couch in my PJs way more than going out and interacting with people. I'm genuinely telling you that. And so many people are shocked by that. But it's just like my life changed a lot in 2017. If you don't know me, I was attacked by a hate crime in 2017. And it really changed the way that I like kind of interact in this world. And I know that's so sad, but I did find a way that like, I think it like calmed me down in a really good way, to where I like found like my sanctuary at home, and you know, drinking a wine, getting into PJs, doing skincare, I knit or I read books or I play video games. Like those are the ways that I decompress. But genuinely, like the main way that I do decompress is genuinely just being home. Like I made my home like this sanctuary of mine. It's like where I feel safe and where I feel the most grounded, and it's where I've filled my house with things that make me feel good. So genuinely just being home just instantly makes me go, and to be fair, me and Ross don't have a lot of people come to our apartment. We're not that we're like private or anything. We would love people to come over, but we just haven't. And in that like has kind of made this feel like just kind of nobody else's and just like me and Ross's. And when we do invite people over, it's like super, super special, and we have a nice night. And I don't know, like I just genuinely think that like my flat and like where we live is just the biggest, greatest way to like decompress, because we have made it such a home and sanctuary where like it feels safe. Everything I look at, I'm just so proud of. Girl, I gotta get me another glass of this wine, honey. There we go. And let's get into our next skincare item. Right. Our next skincare item is going to be Pacifica Vegan Ceramide Barrier Cream with lipids and calendula. We'll check for that. So this stuff is really incredible. I've turned so many people on this. Like this is also kind of a holy grail of mine. To be fair, all my skincare is like my holy grail because I've been using it consistently now for months. And this stuff just like works for me. Like it works magic. Whenever I have a breakout, whether that's stress or, you know, whatever it may be, I start like I will do my regimen, and like not even joking, a day later it's gone. It's a wrap on the pimples. But I just genuinely believe that everyone should have a skin barrier cream. It is incredible, and this stuff just makes your face feel like a cloud. So basically what I do is I go into my pot. I know that I have clean hands, so I just go straight into my pot like that. But I know that others, they like to use like a little tool or things like that. I get a little bit on my finger just like that. It may seem like a lot, but I kind of need it because it's a little bit thicker. So you'll need a little bit more to just spread it all about and rub it up in my fingers. And oh my god, this stuff feels so good. You have no idea. I wish all of you could have this. Another really good skin barrier cream is from Crave Beauty. They're really, really great too. But this one has really just done it for me. I love this one. I love it. I also don't use any fragrance in my skincare, so I'm not really doing this for more of like the kind of smell. I'm doing it more for like the just like routine. The routine feels really good. Also, like, who's like so cozy right now? I'm feeling so cozy. I hope you're cozy. You should grab a blanket. You should go grab one. Go grab a blanket, put it over you, and snuggle up a little bit deeper. And let's finish off the skincare routine. Also, not me being tipsy right now. Who doesn't like going to bed with little tips? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Are you cozy? Because if you're cozy, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and also please follow me on Instagram because we all love to get cozy together. Do it. I dare ya. Amazing. We're inching into our last skincare item. This one is the Holy Hydration Sleeping Mask with hyaluronic acid and peptides from, yes, Elf Skin, which is also Elf Cosmetics. And I know, I mentioned this to so many people, and they're like, Drew, Elf, really? How good can that be? When I tell you, this Holy Hydration line is the girl, it's the girl, honey. It's the girl. It's made with hyaluronic acid, peptides, ceramides, and collagen. I use this overnight and I put a pretty decent amount all over my face. And when I tell you, when I use this at nighttime and wake up in the morning, I don't even look like, I look like I've slept 20,000 hours and I look incredible. Like, my skin is just glowing. It looks so awake in the morning. Like, it's actually kind of crazy like what it does to me in the morning. Like, every time I use this, I can take a photo in the morning and my skin be popping right when I wake up. I absolutely love this stuff. Sometimes I'll go in with like a little extra because I feel a little liberal. Who isn't liberal? I mean, but I really, really do genuinely love this stuff. I put it like everywhere and I love it. I love it. Sometimes I'll put this stuff on like my eczema spots too. Oh, so good. Well, that, my friends, is my skincare. Well, that, my friends, is my get ready with. Well, my friends, that was Get Ready for Bed with me while I do a Q&A. And I hope you all had a really good time. I enjoyed my wine. I hope you enjoyed yours, or whatever drink you're drinking, whatever drink you chose to drink. I really enjoyed my PJs. I really enjoyed my headband. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that bell, the like, the follow me on Instagram for whenever I post about new photos, new videos, and maybe I'll start doing like product reviews on Instagram as well too, so you never know. But I really enjoy having you here. I really hope you had a good time, and I hope that I can be a little bit of an escape for you from the outside world, that you can come and sit down and listen to me chat about all the things that make me comfy and cozy, and I hope that you find comfy and cozy vibes in that as well. Until next time, go get cozy. Bye.